Hi everyone, Danny here with Ground State Tarot. My intention for this reading is to draw a message that can help whoever comes across this video tap into the more intuitional, abstract, spiritual space to try to stay regulated, have your nervous system regulated, your mind regulated, your emotions regulated. I believe that things like these help soothe the brain after the assault that we're constantly exposed to now with the way that the news is given to us 24/7. So let's take a breath. Tap in. Asking for some clues for whoever comes across this message to help you tap in. Allow the mind to calm down and let the subconscious come through. Surrender. You get surrender. I need to get some light, better light for that. Sorry, it's a little too dark. Let's do this. Yeah, that's better. Surrender. That's correct. When we step into these spaces, when we allow the rat race of thoughts in our minds to go still, the hamster wheel to slow down a bit, something special happens. And those of you that are already avid meditators, people that reflect, do self-reflection on a daily basis, you'll understand what I'm getting at when I say surrendering those thoughts, the monkey mind, so to speak, every now and then, suspending also your rational mind from getting in the way, and allowing consciousness to expand. Do you see those circles kind of emanating outward? However you want to do it, this way or that way. But the point being, there is an expansion that occurs. Surrendering is not a contraction. It's actually allowing you to expand and allow consciousness to flow through you. And this is confirmed by the retreat card. I think you can see it there. Number 40, which reduces to 4. Retreating into a space where you surrender your mind, the anxiety, the stress of the day, doing so in moments of consistent retreat, right? It's important to really take these practices, let's call them, serious in a way where we become disciplined and consistent to really unlock the true power potential of these practices, however you choose to do them for yourself, because I'm not even necessarily saying that you have to do it the way that I'm doing it here. I am saying that you need to go into your own space and surrender every now and then everything, the hardships, the anxieties, the worries, go into a space of retreat with that 40 reducing to 4, it's a foundational practice. You're trying to establish something that will become foundational in your life and therefore allows you to build a very strong infrastructure to your life, whether it's a psychological infrastructure, a spiritual infrastructure, emotional infrastructure, physical infrastructure. Going into moments of retreat and surrendering will allow for, again, an expansion to occur, maybe counterintuitively for some of you, maybe absolutely making sense to others of you. But the most important thing is to become curious enough to either already stay consistent in these practices if you're already doing them, or if you're not, to begin to explore what that might look like for you. And we have card number 1, protection. You are able to tap into that feeling of being protected, whether it's, and it doesn't even have to be, it doesn't necessarily have to be ascribed to God or any sort of religiosity. It can just be protection from knowing that when you act from a place of higher self, higher morals, higher ethics, integrity, there is a built-in protection already when we subscribe to those ideals. And more often than not, when you go into these spaces of surrendering, retreating, you can tap into this feeling of being protected, of being led, of not being forsaken. Again, especially this is not so much something that you want to do or care to do when things are good. It's really something that the intention of setting this, again, infrastructure down is for the moments of crises, for those moments when things are not as easy, so that when the S hits the fan, you are prepared, right? You don't just completely fall apart. Devote the rest of your life to making progress. Am I sincerely devoted to a life of consistent growing pains, or am I still secretly waiting for life to get easier? Devoted. Another clue, right? When we're trying to talk about establishing some kind of abstract, spiritual, reflective, intuitional practice that allows you to consistently go into the space, because ultimately it does allow you to make progress. It does invite evolution, forward movement in your life when you stay, again, consistently tapping into these spaces. Devotion is a fascinating concept, because nowadays, with our understanding of science and technology and whatnot, it is a lot harder to, I guess, subscribe to these old school ideas of there being something, and I say old school ideas because as humans, we have been seeking out ritual for thousands of years. They just discovered a site in Africa where there's a snake, a rock figure that looks like a snake that apparently was worshipped 70,000 years ago. So already we were finding, and apparently this place that they found, I should really look up the name of it and put it in the video. This place was only for ritual. It was not a place that they inhabited year round. So So it was strictly just a place where they would go and do some kind of ritual reflective practice, where they even had these little like spears that they would, these rock formation spears that they would make, and then they would smash them, which reminds me of the concept of the mandala that the Buddhists make, right? Those beautiful designs that they make with sand, the colored sand, and then when they're finished, they destroy it, really driving home this idea of impermanence. So let's see where else we're being led. We've got surrender, retreat, protection, and devoting your life to making progress. Okay, let's see if anything doesn't jump out. I will pick the card. Okay, let's go with this one. Authenticity. Let's see what the book has to say for this one. Number 38. Authenticity. As within, so without. Yeah, exactly. Who are you when there isn't a witness? Ooh, who are you when you surrender and you retreat, right? Do you still abide by the same values, or do you take on an entirely new face? Growing up, you were likely taught that you had to conceal your truth to protect yourself. However, doing so creates a discrepancy between your inner world and outer reality, which confuses your organism and disconnects you from your authentic self. Maybe you're not sure if you even know how to live authentically, especially when external voices are trying to pull you in different directions. Here's the thing. In order to live in alignment with your genuine nature, you actually have to get to know yourself deeply. Correct. Get crystal clear about your values. Do you aspire to find depth like the moon, shine like stars, or provide warmth like the sun? Understanding your moral standards will enable you to continuously organize your actions accordingly. Correct. It'll allow you to continue to devote your life to making progress. When you match what you're facing internally with what you display to the outside world, you live authentically. At the same time, being true to yourself and your values doesn't mean that you're rigid or resistant to change. Authenticity is dynamic, and you remain forever malleable. It's all about acting in line with who you are in each new now, unencumbered by fear. And here are the keywords for this card: confidence, alignment, facial expression, star, values, action, introspection. So it is really allowing us to stay with the theme that we've established here of going into these spaces consistently disciplined to access this feeling of being connected to, let's say, a network, right? A network of energy, a network of love. It could be your friends, your family. All of those things really are how we end up seeing the physical expression of God and spirituality. Quite frankly, it's in our everyday interactions with people that you wouldn't even assume are helping you access that part of life, but it is happening that way. So just keep that in mind. It's truly about learning to live life from a place of presence, and it's not easy, again, when you have that rat race hamster wheel of thoughts racing in your mind every day, and you don't take time to pause and calm everything down a little bit, regulate your system so that you're not burning yourself out. And yes, allowing yourself to go into these spaces to purify your energy, to purify your mind, to purify your body, however you want to interpret this, but it is helping us and asking you to embrace this process, this authentic process of devotional, let's call it devotional presence to being 1% better every day, just for the sake of trying to put out a different world, a different version of the world than we see right now, because I think we can all agree that what we see right now is not something that we want to repeat. So this is really, truly trying to bring back some kind of reflective process that I feel collectively as a society, unless you're religious, we're not getting the experience, because the rest of us who got that sour taste in our mouth with religion in whatever experience we had growing up, I'm speaking from my own experience for sure, we threw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak, when it comes to these kinds of spaces. And I'm trying to get that baby back. Let's get the baby back, right? So, what does purification tell us? Traditionally, rain symbolizes rebirth and washing one's sins away. Yes. Water is also associated with emotions, and a summer rain can represent the release of long-held emotions that allows for a purification and inner healing. There's also a renewal aspect of rain. The old saying, April showers bring May flowers, means that what follows the rain is a time of renewal and blossoming. Here's the message. It's difficult for new, vibrant energy to enter your life if it is clogged with old and outdated energy. What did I say? Purifying your energy. Cleanse and purify your body and your physical space. This is a great time for a detox, clutter clearing, cleansing, and space clearing. Release outdated energy to invite fresh, clear energy into your life. Eat lightly. Don't take things personally. Release resentment, guilt, and blame. Purify yourself, thought, word, and deed. Decluttering is modern-day alchemy. If you don't love it or use it, let it go. This card can also represent abundance, as flowing water is a metaphor for prosperity, and summer is the time of expansion. That's a really awesome message to kind of wrap it up there. It's almost like you get a pot of gold when you stick to this process that we've laid out here. There is a process of purification. There is a factor of divine timing, of patience, of waiting for the correct circumstances, the sunlight from the summer and whatnot, to activate the sunflowers, to activate the abundance that is around the corner. And it's not just necessarily abundance financially. It's an abundance of love. It's an abundance of intuitional experiences that expand your perception and really allow you to go to a new space. It's an abundance of confidence that allows you to tap into the ability to attract the kind of assets and wealth that you want, right? So I'm just going to draw one card, just to kind of keep this under 20 minutes. I've got about a minute to go. And one more shuffle, and then I'll pull the card. Okay. Final piece of advice. 8 of Cups. Yes. That's a perfect card to get. The 8 of Cups gets interpreted often as the card of walking away, right? Walking away from things that no longer serve you, walking away from things that no longer fulfill you. But the deeper meaning of this card that I always like to remind people is that there comes a point in our lives, whether it's because of crises or just because you become existentially bored, let's say, that we begin to become truly curious about these kinds of things, right? So the Eight of Cups is walking away from things that no longer fulfill your spiritual journey, walking away from the malaise, walking away from the incredulity, right? Of these types of things, allowing yourself to open up to the possibility of reaching the Nine of Cups, which is the next card, which is the wish fulfillment card. It's the satisfaction card. It's the having arrived and integrated your emotions enough to be deeply, deeply tapping into this sense of life fulfillment and unfolding, an unfolding that lines with the vision that you've had for yourself. And so the only true way to activate that is by embarking on this spiritual journey to begin to figure out who you are a little better. That's right. Confirmation ding. Who you are and where you want to see yourself, let's say a year from now, for those of you that begin to take these kinds of practices seriously and just watch the progress that you make in that short amount of time. Because I promise you, the evidence will begin to show itself sooner rather than later.